this doohickey over here, and
I thought you meant you were like deaf in one ear.
you have one eye and I have one ear.
Tell me what's coming.
Oh my God! This is the Topsnap Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I've been meeting a lot of you out there, and I have not been putting the content. So put it this way: I have content. We've been filming. We've been doing podcasts. I've been so inundated with just life. I've talked about this in my podcast before, that I have not been able to post this shit because I can't just upload it. It's too raw. Are you okay?
Yeah, my mic was falling.
He's falling down. So the content, I just haven't been able to upload it, and it's lazy. I'm owning up to this. This is bad. I have one ear. I don't like one ear.
But not deaf in one ear.
No, I think I'm gonna connect this. So this is my friend Greggoriano.
Greggoriano.
You gotta speak into the mic, sir.
Greggoriano.
See, yeah, you're gonna have to bring that. Yeah, you're good there. You're actually.
It's too high there, isn't it?
Well, probably, unless you want to bring your chair up. I'm just saying.
Try to.
This is the case. You got to be within like a 6-inch dick range. Sorry, being profane.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just got to be.
Why do you got to go there, man?
Because it's
now
the mic,
it's like
dude.
the visual.
It is. It's phallic. Come on, dude. That's not phallic to you. It's a big black dick right there. Jesus Christ. Of course, it's phallic, dude. No, you have to have in this range. It's a cardioid mic, so it's if you're over here, they can't see how it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
way off.
Yeah. So when you're directing it in, it just kind of. I hate to be profane. Squeak. Dead air sucks. Dead air is like. Dead air. What is the dead air equivalent to? Like in your craft, like. So what do you guys do out there? Like, let's just say a musician. I met a musician. Hello to Erica out there, Erica Hollywood. She's a musician. I met her at a trade show. So let's just say example, she goes to sing and then there's no music and no voice. What happens? It's dead. You can't do that, right? So when I do the podcast and like have a technical difficulty, it's
a bummer.
Well, look at dead airspace in the right context is beautiful. Not when I'm belching.
Like the timing of it's got to be perfect, and it's just like appropriate for the situation.
Like just now when you chimed in, beautiful. Because I'm sitting here trying to hold back a belch. I'm trying to compose my thought. I got all this going on, and then you just reach into the magic grab bag, and you took a hold of the situation, and it was perfect.
Nice.
Exactly like that. That's what this podcast is about. It's really a conversation. A lot of people talk about it being an interview, and I hate that connotation, man. I don't know. I don't believe it's an interview because I interject so much. I'm talking about things. I'll talk about my references. I'll bring up my points. If it was an interview, it wouldn't be anything about me. I wouldn't even want to be in the freaking frame. I'd be like you know how some of those guys, like the CBS guy, and he's like, you just see the back of his head. Kind of like the corner, just like an eighth of the back of his ear and then maybe the head. And he's asking the guy questions, and the light's on the star of the show, on the focal point, on the subject.
Yeah.
Not on the interviewer.
Exactly.
I'm not an interviewer. I want to be in the limelight. Now, I wouldn't call myself a journalist, even though that thing would be fun.
You've heard of a walk of life, right? The walk of life. I mean, we all are on our walk of life.
I probably need to kick it.
So
let me kick. Hold on.
Podcast is.
Oh, there you go.
A podcast is a talk of life.
It is a talk of life.
Sharing your moments in this wonderful world of ours.
Beautiful voice. The man's got a beautiful voice. Speak into that mic like that, and it's beautiful. No, listen. The reason why I say that is the the contextual richness of a voice, the sure mics and the focus and all the equipment. It really brings it out, and the experience for the audience. In a lot of podcasts, it's just vocal, anyways. So when you turn on a camera. See, that's the thing is I'm only broadcasting this thing. My concentration of this broadcast is only in YouTube. Even though I'm in other platforms, it's just my focus is in YouTube. So SoundCloud, I only have a few up on that one. My website, I haven't linked a lot of the new ones up. I'm lagging, you guys.
You're a little busy.
Yeah, but it's disheartening because I have to talk to these guys. I meet so many people, and I give my card, and like I still look at my subscribership, and it's like it went up one. I went from 32 to 33. So thank you for whoever that was recent subscriber was. It had to have been like in the last maybe like the last week or so. Yeah. So thank you. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when we have this, how it's so hard for people to take time to listen to people talk. So it has to be involved. It has to be directly related to something that people are experiencing. Otherwise, they're going to change the channel. They just do. It has to be interesting. You have to be witty. You have to be quick. You can't have a podcast. So what were you doing, Greg? Like, so what do you do? Oh, bro, I clean carpets. So what are your aspirations? Like, that's fucking boring, dude. I'm sorry. It's just boring. That's a boring talk. I don't want to fucking talk. I have a dirty mouth. I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to talk with somebody who's going to talk with me like that. And I want that's the rich voice, the speaking into the mic, having a little bit of passion behind it. You know, like right now, I'm worried the camera might have stopped because I can't see the camera. So I'm gonna walk over there. If you can handle the reins, take this pony ride down the trail a little bit while I go and help the horses.
Is this the timing to be quiet?
No, this is the timing to
The dead air.
This is the timing to be. I'm going to be quiet because I'm going to be away from my mic. You know, it's
Okay.
like so. Originally, I talked to Greg and I said, "Hey, come on my podcast," and he went through some traumatic stuff. And if you can't tell by the camera, then that's awesome. But when I first met him, he looked like he had some scarring on his face. And I was like, oh, wow, this guy went through some shit. And I had no idea what it was because, you know, anything can happen. And he has an incredible story. And it's a story of like perseverance, I guess, like something that you think would beat you all the way down to where like nowadays you're hearing about a lot about suicide. And this has been going on for a lot of years. I'm not going to say this suicide is something new for young adults, but and now it's almost like I'm not going to say a mantra, but it's like something that's it's like a movement, so to speak. This guy put out a song recently, Logic, and it's the title is like an 800 number. I guess it's a suicide line. It's like, and have you heard it? I was trying to load it up before the podcast so we could play it as the intro.
Oh.
So I'm going to go check the screen. I don't know how. That's.
You need to have your camera linked to your computer so you can make sure you're seeing everything.
Exactly. And that's where we're at right now on this production.
It's a good idea, though, huh?
No, I mean, that's the whole thing I've been trying to do my whole entire time.
Okay.
Is to link it together, Linkovich-Tomovsky kind. Yeah, so you guys out there who are facing some problems right now, there's been a lot of shit going on. There's been floods and catastrophe. There's been the Vegas shooting.
Earthquake. Mexico.
I don't even know anything about it.
No way.
I mean, I heard a little bit, and my friend reported onto it, but I didn't hear much about it.
100 years ago had the exact earthquake.
Well, go ahead, speak on this. Speak on it.
It's wild. So Mexico City in, 100 years ago, they had an earthquake, and I don't know if it was somewhere, I think it was a little bigger. This last one was 7 or 8, and the other one was 8.5 or something.
This one was about an 8 or 7.8?
No, this one was like 8.1, I think.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
So this one fucked some shit up.
Oh, yeah. And
Watch a lot of news.
it happened exactly on the day 100 years
Are
later.
you fucking kidding me? Exactly?
Exactly
That's not
on the
bullshit.
day.
That's just not.
That is honest to God.
That's not like internet trolling or internet.
I looked it up. Someone told me, and I was like, what? My mom told me, actually.
Well, you don't know how parents.
My mom.
You know, parents can be. They can.
Yeah.
Hey, your parents told you that there was a tooth fairy and there was a bearded guy that ran down a fucking chimney and a rabbit that hides surprises in your lawn. So that's for parents for you. I don't trust parents. They lie. All I've known is parents to lie to kids their entire life. Oh, shit.
Disney also lies to children.
Do they?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because every Disney movie has a happy ending.
Well, look, that doesn't mean it's a lie. Look, that's entertainment. And we have to have fantasy in our life. We can't be surrounded solely on everything being, oh, my God.
That's true.
Oh, I just went fucking off I just saw that go red. You can't do that when it. Not you. Not
too
you.
loud or something?
Yeah, I think I went a little crazy.
Wow.
I think I need to calm the fuck down.
Do you want a chill pill?
I need a chill pill.
Not that I have chill pills.
I got all these weapons around here. We're going to talk about the guns in a little bit, but yeah, I'll put these out here. I don't know if you guys can see those beautifulnesses right there, but yeah. So I don't even know what were we talking about right now. Wow, it's hard to keep track on some things. We were talking about the suicide, and we were talking about going through difficult times in your life, and this man right here, he's gone through some difficult times, and he was in a car accident. Greg's in a car accident, and he lost his sight in his left eye, right? Lost your sight.
Yep.
And
my left eye was crushed. 52 fractures in the left side of my face. Surgery, 13 hours, 8 surgeons, one after another for 13 hours, and my sinuses were removed also. So I can't smell a damn thing. Can't see on the left side. And the worst part about it all was my best friend died. So,
man, you're talking about this, and I'm like, you hit the fucking, you hit the
thing that happened.
You hit the button, like you hit the heart button as I'm walking out, like doing the thing, and it's like,
sorry, it just.
No, I know you're on the roll. You're on the roll, and I was trying to get back because I didn't know if you were gonna hit that spot so fast before I get back to my seat, and it's like,
sorry.
No, don't apologize to me. You have nothing to apologize, brother. I'm sorry that I was sitting down because it's like I didn't want to be rude because that's the point right there. It's like, yeah, you got in an accident and you hurt yourself, but then you were driving.
Yes.
And
I was drinking.
Driving and drinking.
Driving and drinking. I didn't have the beer in my hand or nothing, but we left the bar, and the bar we went to was after 1:30. And they said, nope, last call. And my friend's cousin said, how about $100? You let us in for one more shot. So they let us in, and we all had shots. I don't know what I drank, but then we went outside, and my designated driver was more drunk than I was. And basically, I was like, well, mad, because I'm drinking pretty heavy, and anyway, I just got pissed and went, fuck it, I'll drive, because there was no overnight parking, so we had to move the car because it was my new truck that I.
So you drove your truck?
Couldn't have, yeah. I had no intentions of drinking that night. I wanted to, but I had my truck. My new Silverado, I could not take that chance. This is, my responsibility to be a man and not crash my truck. Or get DUIs or whatever, And
is that what's going? How old were you when this happened?
I was 27, going on 28. It was 5 days before my birthday. Okay,
so you're mid to late 20s, and so you're conscientious enough of the fact that you have your new truck. You're not going to drink and drive. You go out with your friends, kind of
to celebrate our birthdays, because his birthday was in 3 days.
Now let me ask you a question. You drove to the party?
There was no party.
You drove to the bar?
Yeah. We first went to a restaurant/bar that had pool tables.
Okay.
So we were there, and I remember it because we were eating free pizza. And it was over by Westminster Mall, Bennigan's or something like that.
Okay, yeah, Bennigan's right there.
It was Bennigan's.
Right across the street from my old house.
Yeah, and they gave out free happy hour pizza, you know. And I remember being really hungry because I didn't have a dime in my pocket that night. And everything was bought for me, you know, one drink after another, and we bar hopped. And I don't remember all the bar hopping real well. I just remember that last bar, and I remember getting in the car, and we were supposed to be racing across town to get more beer, and my buddy had a place that sold right up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So we were like, you know, they're like, Greg, drive fast, get there before 2. Okay. You know, and get in the car, we were driving, and I remember the words exactly. It was, do you want to smoke a bowl? And I went, sure, load it up. And this is the last thing I remember before I came around a turn and wrapped my car around a tree. My brand new 2001 Chevy Silverado extended cab. It was badass. It was an awesome truck.
Wrapped it around a fucking tree.
I've got pictures.
Now, so you're going down the road. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're cognizant, like, you know, do you feel yourself swerving at all?
I don't remember anything like that.
You don't remember. You don't really remember much because of the accident, huh?
Yeah.
So traumatic brain injury?
I think I remember it real well. I just smoking a bowl while I was that drunk, just having shots at the bar, it just made me black out. I think that's what happened because I was like driving and then swerved into the center divider.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And hit a tree, 80 miles per hour. Wrapped it around. The bed of the truck was ripped separate from the cab. They were totally ripped in half. And unfortunately, the passenger died. You know, he really had no chance. The tree hit his seat. His seat came into the middle of the truck. And made him, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I survived. Doctors don't know how I survived. They said I was just like a miracle. They said it was just like, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Do you ever weigh? Do you ever weigh it? Let me give you a reference before I ask the question. I listened to Jocko Willink. He has this book. It's called Extreme Ownership. You should go listen to it. I'm listening to it on Audible. It's amazing. Him and his co-writer and business partner, Leif Babbitt, who was also a SEAL. They're both SEAL, Navy SEALs.
Nice. Mad respect.
They talk about when they took their troops, their tacticians into hostile areas on their plans and got them killed. How they take that with them every day. And Leif Babbitt was saying how when it happened, and maybe even up till now, I'm not positive if he still feels this way. It sounded like he was still coming from the heart, that he could have traded places with them so they could come home to their families and all this other stuff, because that weighs heavy on his heart every day. Because it ultimately was his responsibility for their safety. Ultimately, he says, even though they were taking everything, they were responsible for their own lives, and they knew what they were getting into. So, do you ever ponder that? Does that ever go through your head, like, if you could trade your position with your friend? Obviously you probably went through the whole range of emotions: anger, sadness, denial, and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Do you still battle that?
It's there, here and there. I definitely have my insecurities sometimes. I got a new eye. Woo!
He's meaning recently, because
like within the last week.
I just saw it today for the first time, and
it looks a lot better.
it's good that you can break. I mean, I know this is gnarly. You know, it's like what you've not just went through. How many years ago? 19 years ago, something like that.
No, it'll be 15 years this December.
Okay, so 15 years ago, decade and a half, you went through something heavy. Okay, but like we talked earlier, we were saying sometimes you can find humor in sadness or in what trials, tribulations. There's humor to be found in things. You gotta just be open to it, man. Like, I'm not gonna mention what we were laughing at earlier, but it's a video I have. It's on the Topsnap, like one of the greatest moments. You guys watch it. The Steve Saul's on it. I'm not gonna mention what it is because it's a touchy subject because this is touchy. It's again, it's finding humor in the dark places of our lives, and it's there. And some people don't want to. I mean, it's if you laugh at it, it means it's real. It comes from a real spot. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible person. It just means that you have to be able to extract that. If it's there and it's humorous, you have to be able to extract that because there's so much sadness built around it. So like what you went through with your friend, and shouldering it. You know, like extreme ownership, like owning it. Like you own it. And I know that there's a lot of, you and I have talked because I've been interested in it. Like, this has been hardcore. I lost my nephew from a car accident, from a lady hitting their car. So, you know, and I feel for the lady who hit my nephew's car. In the car that he was in. I feel for that lady. She's in her 60s or something like that. Mm-hmm. I know she's lost probably a lot. I can only imagine. I know she can't drive anymore. So it's like, this has turned this lady's life upside down. I think of this lady often. She wrote our family a letter. Awesome. And it's heartfelt, and like I've always wanted to reach out to this lady because I was just like, it's like this.
She's got to be suffering.
She didn't take her car and go, all right, I'm going to go kill a family today and fucking barrel into an intersection. She didn't do that on purpose. That wasn't her intention. Nor was you want to go out and celebrate. You had no intention on drinking.
That's honest to God.
Next thing you know, it's that pressure, the peer pressure or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go, fuck it. All right, this one time I'm going to go against what I know that I'm not supposed to. And you know it. Deep down inside, you fucking know it. You know when you're wrong. You know when you're fucking overstepping your boundaries. You know when you're not playing to the right side of things. And only you know this thing. You could fool a lot of other people, but inside, deep down, you know. So this gets to the point where it's like, okay, this traverses into the gun deal, okay? Because guns are very, very touchy subject right now. You can kill somebody with a gun.
Yeah.
But there's also a plethora of other things you can kill with somebody with that's not a gun and that's still totally valid and legal. And I guess it comes down to efficacy. How efficient is your weapon? Like, if this happens, fuck the pen. My little tool right here. Because I picked this thing up.
That's better than the pen.
Yeah, this is way better. I can rip your eyelid off and then gouge you in your temple or something. So my point is that the efficacy of your weapon and how much damage you want to impose on people and how deep and lengthy is that damage? What's the velocity of the damage? What's the volume of it? How many people? How severe? Like this guy in Vegas, he went off. Okay, listen, I know there's conspiracies out there. I get it. Person or persons behind the Vegas shooting.
Good way to say it.
They used the efficacy of high-powered rifles to inflict mayhem and utter horror. That's terrorism. It's terrorism, whether it's fucking involved with fucking Al-Qaeda or not, right? The guy in fucking Paris takes a truck, starts mowing people down and killing people with his truck, intentionally inflicting harm on people.
Boston Marathon,
Boston Marathon.
bombed it.
People going by innocent. Okay, so let's just stop at those 3, okay? Now let's switch. I'm going to bring you involved now. Okay. You kill your friend in the car. Not intentional, okay? But still your responsibility.
Yes.
And you live with it, and you paid for it, right? Through the restitution and the reconciliations that you did with the state and the family and whatever. Those things you appropriated. If I were to accidentally shoot somebody, again, I'm going to have to deal with that because I need to be responsible enough to own a gun, just as he needed to be responsible enough to drive a car. And you recently got your license back, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And it felt great, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And what did you, and you said something like you were cherishing it, but like you realized how like fortunate you, this isn't verbatim that Greg said, but you were talking about how fortunate you were to be able to do this, to be able to have your license again and be able to do this after what had happened to you.
Yeah.
Meaning like where you took your life. Because basically you drove, unfortunately, this is a, not a euphemism, but a pun, but you drove your life into that area.
Yeah.
So getting your license back kind of give you, what did it give you? Because I would think it's
sense of freedom.
The freedom. I was thinking the freedom is probably the first thing that comes into my mind.
Yep. And just confidence.
Confidence by having a driver's license. Isn't that amazing?
Once I started driving again, it was like
you're not alone.
It came back to me like like a bike. You ride a bike, you never forget. And that's not necessarily true because you get too old, you fall.
You're so funny.
But
so when I met him, he had this other eye, different eye, and it.
Do you want me to go get it?
Can you just pop it in? He's like,
I got my tool to remove it right now.
Hold on, you got to speak into the mic. What was that?
Okay, never mind.
I got a tool to pop my eye out, like a hard-boiled egg one.
That's
my friend Jason, Jay, back in Rolling Heights, Jason Roberts, one eye, and he's always like, it was a lot smaller. I think it was his real eye. He just couldn't see out of it. I think he shot it out with something, or something happened, like a backfire on a gun or BB or some shit like that. Could be wrong. Jay, fucking call me up and let's figure this out. Somebody let me know because I'm gonna post this on Facebook and hopefully
we'll
get this. They'll get the story right. But so his eye would be like crooked and it was small like this, and he'd go like, "What's up, Jay?" And like. He didn't mean to look like that. It's just where his eye would be pointing, like kind of inward a little bit, and and it was like shrunken down because I guess he lost a lot of the optic part of it, so it got small
muscles and stuff.
Right? Okay.
Luckily, mine was okay, and it picks up the eye, and it.
Sorry about the interruption right there. That sucked. The camera just says we're gonna turn right off.
Yeah. It didn't like what we were saying.
No, it's talking about something. What were we talking about? Oh, Jay Roberts and the eyeball. We were talking about eyeballs. We were talking about fake eyes. Your old eyeball was bigger. It was like almost the same size. See, dude, technology. So how old was your other eyeball?
14 years.
Dude. So he calls me and goes, "Hey, I'm getting a prosthetic upgrade," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, they're going to give me a new eye." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like hand painted or no? Not this one, digital."
I think it's hand painted.
Really?
Yeah.
Regardless, you guys. So I see him tonight, and I'm talking with Greg, and I'm looking at him, but something seems easier to talk to him. It's a relaxed conversation. Not that I wasn't relaxed before with you, but, and this is where the truth comes out, when somebody who doesn't have any kind of facial problem, meaning like a scar or damage or a loss of an eye, just ugliness like me, if you just have to deal with ugliness, that's just your roll of the dice. But if you have no injury inflicted under your face, okay? You don't know how to deal with interacting when you meet somebody who is damaged. Like, I have a friend that blew his own face off with a shotgun. Jesus Christ. I saw a picture of him. I haven't seen him since this happened. And we were kids when this happened.
He survived.
Oh, yeah. You guys.
Oh, my gosh.
Fuck, man.
You think your life's bad? It's like, oh,
No,
my
it's
God.
just, and he
Come
did
down
it to
that.
himself. He blew his own fucking face off, fucking around with a fucking loaded shotgun. Not a gun, but a loaded weapon. And you have to have this is where my point was coming with the cars and what you did, and versus I was bringing up points of like the guy in Paris, and there was a reason I wasn't trying to fucking associate you with the guy from Paris. What I was trying to show you was the similarities and the differences. So you got a shooter in fucking in Las Vegas who's a dipshit, you know, and then you have a baby who walks into a room, grabs the dad's gun, walks out and points it at somebody at the party like, "Daddy," boom, and kills the dad. And this happens. Joe Rogan was talking about on the podcast. 27 shootings have happened from children, deaths, like murders from kids, toddlers murdering adults. I'm pretty sure the number was 27 adults. It could be 27 complete people, but 27 people were shot by toddlers with guns.
As long as those toddlers weren't like, you know, one toddler had 2 kills. Or
No, I think there might be
Really?
one toddler with 2 kills. I swear to God. No, but look at this is the point. This is the point. Being negligent, not using safety, not having education implemented. A lot of people are scared of guns. Listen, they're a fact here in this country. They're a fact on all parts of the world. Some places are illegal, some aren't. Okay? But I mean, some places are legal to own. Some places are not legal to own these. However, even in the places that you can't own a gun legally, they're still going to be there. So if you have a child who's 14, 15, like my friend who blew his own fucking face off with a shotgun when no one was around, they were all fucking around. Like we used to crush up Piccolo Pete's and put them in a fucking in PVC pipe and cap the ends and blow them up, all the time, like doing crazy shit like that, and blowing the mailboxes. Like he was nuts.
We'll teach the kids these tricks.
No, but this is out there, and so I'm trying to show the similarities and the differences when from a shooter in a building, capping rounds off in a crowd, okay, with a gun, to a baby that walks into the house, or is in the house, and walks into the room where the dad's at, finds his .40 cal that's like underneath the bed or a pillow, comes out to show the daddy everything, and starts capping people in the party. I mean, this shit has happened, So then immediately, we'll outlaw guns then. It's like, no, you don't outlaw the guns. Because there's a tremendous amount of people who have the guns, who aren't the crazy maniac, yet they're not legally owning these fucking weapons. They're not registered. And they're not out to go like mass murder and shoot and cause terror, but if they want some money, they need a car, drugs, they're going to use an illegal weapon that's going to be here. There's no way to get rid of it. I mean, if you can fucking buy drugs in jail, you can get a gun on the street even if it's illegal. So
I don't even think you need to go to the street. I think you can Amazon it now.
no, my point is if they were to outlaw guns completely. People are all about this gun restriction.
There's a black market.
There's a black market, and I'm not going to
away.
be susceptible to that. And they're saying, well, what? I mean, you're going to carry your gun around everywhere? Yeah. Conceal. Carry, conceal. Now, if you're not fortunate to do a carry, conceal, like this gentleman, can never own a gun, can't do a carry, conceal. He's fucked on that. So, can you own mace?
I have no idea. All I know is my probation officer took my pocket knife.
Did he say you can't have a pocket
Pissed me
knife?
off.
You can't have a pocket
Not when I was on probation.
Oh, but you're off of probation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't own a firearm.
No.
Yeah. And did you lose your voting privilege?
No, I vote every year.
You can still vote?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out nuances there.
I think they probably throw it out when I leave.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, our vote counts. Your vote counts.
Just kidding.
So, this is where the conversation ends up at. So all these similarities and all these differences. And the bottom line, it comes down to responsibility and education. You have to educate everybody on a weapon. Everybody should be educated on firearms. At least hand firearms, pistols and revolvers, because they're very prominent. Most people own a handgun versus a rifle.
Yeah.
And if you know basic handgun safety and rules, then it transfers pretty well over to a rifle. It transfers pretty well. You're not going to go pick up a rifle and start, firing off rounds maybe and know that and all the nuances that each individual rifle possesses, but that's how each gun is. Like these two guns, they're different caliber, they're different mechanisms, so there's a nuance to each weapon. So basic firearm safety. Don't point any fucking muzzle. You don't point the muzzle at you guys like that. You don't ever fan anybody, and you don't put your finger in the fucking trigger well and do that ever. With this gun, so I'm gonna check this. It's clear. Always check your barrel. It's open, clean, nothing. Okay. You should technically not even have ammo out when you do this shit, because they say that's where accidents happen. So I check my barrel again. Okay. With double action, which means you pull the trigger, the hammer cocks back, the bullet comes in and click. That's a double action shot. Okay. And that takes about anywhere from 11 pounds to 13 pounds to pull that trigger. Pull that. Just don't point at me.
No.
You can point it at the camera. Point it at those fuckers right there behind. Yeah, there you go.
Bam.
There you go. So you feel the trigger pull pressure on it?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So the trigger pull, and that's like I said, 11 to 13 pounds, anywhere in between there. When I go to single action, meaning I cock back the hammer, now the bullet's ready to go. There's no bullet here, but the bullet would be ready in the chamber. Hammer's cocked. Now the pull is 1.5 pounds.
Wow. Just
so take that,
sensitive.
cock back the hammer.
Wow, yeah. A lot easier.
Wow. Now just do it double action. Just do it. See the difference? Now cock it back.
Oh yeah, a lot more pressure to
trippy, huh?
Pull it back.
It's like 13 times less pressure, almost about 10 times less pressure.
That's why cowboys do.
Yeah, it's not effective, but this is the point, that knowing trigger pull 11 pounds, so it's less likely for the gun to go off in double action mode right here, because that takes a lot more. Yeah, I mean, I gotta really squeeze that trigger for it to go off. Whereas if it's in single action, I almost can blow on that fucking trigger. So that's part of firearm safety. Never taking it for granted that it's not loaded. So all these things, they coincide everything for the same with driving a 4,000, 5,000 pound vehicle. Some of these bigger trucks now, 6, 7, 8,000 pounds. If you're driving a dually, that's an 8,000 pound vehicle.
Wow. That's a big boy.
Yeah. So, and you can take people out real fast. You took somebody out with them. The old lady took out my nephew. Neither of these people wanted anybody to get hurt. They weren't trying to do that. It was an accident. But the fucking roads are filled with it. And today, more people died from those cars. Are you going to start outlawing those cars? And you say, well, you're talking about two different things. People are becoming maniacs and can do crazy stuff with the little weapon. Listen, you can do the same shit with the fucking car. There's no difference in that. It's almost worse. Because you just plow through people if you got psychotic, you could go rent down a fucking car, a big truck, and just start mowing just going on a rampage for hours. Just fill up the tanks and start fucking mowing people down. What's the difference between that and what that fuckface did in fucking Vegas? Not much. That's still terror. You're still killing people, and it's horrific. You're mutilating bodies. So we can start outlawing rental trucks?
Yeah.
But you know what you do have to get to a rental truck? You have to give them an ID. You got to give them a credit card. Some trucks won't even rent to you unless you've rented from them before for those big trucks. Some trucks, you have to have a special license to own them.
No.
So there's all kinds of, so I think some of these things need to be more strict. Should there be more strict laws on the road? Fucking A. Because again, like I said, we're hurling these big vehicles, thousands of pounds down the highway. We're killing people every day. And no one's talking about outlawing cars or trucks.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's this fascination with outlawing guns. And it's all about, like I said, education and use. And not hillbilly style either. And not ghetto style. But like legitimate educational practices. And it goes the same with behind the wheel. So with guns and within cars, they're very similar because they're both very, very fucking dangerous. And in the wrong hands, can be fatal. So the nuance with that is that, excuse me, I think that we need to look at more rules for guns. Look at more safety for guns. And I just got this revolver. I just picked it up last night. It was a 10-day dross, meaning the government has to check all your craziness, but they really don't. I mean, as long as I don't have any priors and I have a good, clean, record, meaning I don't have any priors and I didn't commit any felonies and nobody has any kind of restraining orders on me, I'm clear to get a gun. So I didn't really have to go through any particular psych evaluation, Yeah. I didn't have to have any kind of personality evaluation or situational evaluation.
At what point do you pull that trigger?
No, like a situational evaluation, meaning okay, his psychological's fit, he's good, he's a nice guy. He seems like a pretty calm guy, raised up in a nice family. He was like a football player, and then he went on, he was like a scholar, and he got a bachelor's, and then he went out and got a master's, and he got a nice job. And then he has a family, right? All these good things. Everything's good. He's a normal, he eats apple pie on Thanksgiving, kisses his mom on his cheek, on her cheek, and there you go. Had some friends still, family, okay? Everything's fucking great. He owns a couple guns. Situational thing happens now, and he wants to go after another. He wants to go get another gun. He wants to go buy a rifle or a handgun. So that's time for he's gonna get another gun, but now we have our biannual. Every 2 years you go in and you get your situational, or maybe even annually, situational evaluation. And they're just kind of seeing a snapshot of your life. This football player guy now, he lost his job. He blew out his knee with the boys, horsing around. They were doing rugby or whatever. Caught his wife cheating, and now they're going to get a divorce. The kid is sick. His neighbor threatened him. Stock market crashed on him. He lost a bunch of money in his stocks. He's just having a fucking bad time. And all of a sudden, a guy who is just normal, good person is in a situation where having a weapon's probably not the fucking best thing for him. Yeah. For him or other people. Because now he's at the point of his life where so much negative shit's happening that he's going to have, unless he's super, super strong and has it together, and again, this would happen within a situational evaluation and a psych evaluation. So if his psych checks out, and they go through, after his psych checks out and they give him a situational evaluation, and they're like, dude, this guy's in a really bad spot. we need to take another psych evaluation just to make sure, because maybe he's fooling us on this overview psych. We got to give him the in-depth one, because his situation now looks fucking horrible. Look at all this shit. Guy didn't have a job anymore. Like, you know, I think this should be the mandate for this stuff like this, because I think it would help at least extract some of the potential problem out there with gun owners. Just like you have to have a fucking driver's license to drive a car on the road, and registration on your car, and insurance. Somebody talked about this. Fuck, where did I hear it? I heard it somewhere. Maybe a comic or somebody was talking about having registration and insurance, because you have to register your gun, but have insurance owning a weapon.
Insuring.
Never a trigger on your finger on the trigger well.
I was about to pull it.
Well, yeah, but you're too close to my face. Like, yeah, you should be pointing it on the other side of the mic. Like, if you were going to do that, like if I was going to do this. And you should always check. See, I should have checked. It doesn't have a magazine, though.
Respect the gun.
Yeah, but see, they could still, even if it doesn't have a magazine, it could still have a round in there. Yeah. But I just pulled it out of my car, and I don't drive with it. But again, gun safety. Again, pointing it away from you. So if a round did go off, it's going to go on the floor right there, through the baseboard. It's probably going to get stuck in that wood right there. But we don't want that. We don't want fucking accident. Listen, dude, I know people who have concealed carry permits who didn't even know where the safety on their gun was. They had a safety on their Smith & Wesson, didn't even know it.
That's not good.
Yeah, there's certain, you gotta speak into the mic. Certain things, I know you're the timer's ticking away.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to know what time it was, and I got a text message.
Shit, what time is it? I don't even know what, I'm not even look at the clock. We're just rolling with it, because there's a few things.
Keeps on.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure there's a point, because I posted a couple things on Instagram about my gun, and I know there's a lot of opinions about guns right now. I get it. My point was, I'm going to own some weapons and keep one at my, home office, and one near the bed, and one in the car. Obviously in the right kind of area. Lock boxes are great, you guys. They have all kinds of crazy lock boxes, even ones you can put your hands on and just fingerprint ID you. Opens it up, grab it. You're ready to rock. It's in the situations where you could fear for your life. They're not likely to happen. That's the whole point. To have the weapon, to be trained and educated, to respect it, it becomes part of like a culture in your life. Like it's a machine. So you respect the machine, you keep it clean. It's a beautiful work of art. They make all kinds of different things. And once you start to look at a weapon like that, it's not a killing machine anymore. It's almost like a car. I don't look at it as a car, as a killing machine, even though they kill fucking people every day. I've lost one of the closest people in my life to a fucking car. Not to a gun. I haven't lost any family members to a gun. I lost them to a fucking car. And I'm not trying to ban fucking cars. Again, it's education. It's about the people using it. I'm not saying just because you're educated. Look at the lady who was educated. You were educated. Human error. Sometimes we take it upon us to go, and we're just not fit to do the thing. I've blown a fucking red light before, like that lady did. And I just was fortunate enough not to hit anybody. I've drank and drove people and nodded off to sleep, and was fortunate not to fucking kill anybody in my fucking past. I just got fortunate and lucky. And I did the same thing that my friend here and the other lady, the other individual had done. Just, they hit bad luck. Their number came up. Boom. So being an adult, understanding, it's like, oh, fuck. When you start to think about it on that level, it's like, dude, I can't. There's no margin for that error. Like, ever since we had a talk about losing your eye, I've been making sure that I put my glasses on as much as I can, like cutting wood, riding my motorcycle. Like, sometimes I just have like the windscreen up, and I have my Harley windscreen, but no like glasses. And it's like, oh, well, it'll go over me. But dude, stuff can come from anywhere, man. Like, you gotta have eye protection, man. They're really delicate. And
when you got two, take care of them. It's just like a gun. Just take care of it. And respect them.
And when you have one,
lose it, it sucks.
it makes it a hold now.
Depth perception was the hardest in the beginning.
But like you said, when you have two, that margin for error is like, oh, well, fuck. Okay, if you lose sight in one, it sucks and it's crazy. But thank God you have your other eye. Imagine if you had lost both your eyes.
Exactly. I mean,
Holy
I couldn't imagine.
Fuck.
I mean,
Yeah, you can because you can imagine because you close one eye.
yeah.
Close your right eye. Yeah. Can't see shit.
Well, you close your eyes, you can't see shit.
Yeah, but if I close my right eye, I can still see you.
I
Is my
gotcha.
point.
Okay.
Like if you do that, you can't see anything. I have to close both. That's what I'm saying. So as soon as you lose the other one, you're fucked. And people just don't. Again, this thing where we wake up every day and it's like there's a certain amount of people. It's like, oh, the Gucci and the Eminem's new song and fucking Trump and all this shit. And like we don't take what we have every day given to us, I think, a little bit closer to our heart than we should. I'm not talking about everybody. Grateful and understanding. Yeah, exactly. Listen, I know people are fucking irritated. There's this lady I listened to her talking about to Jordan Peterson. He's a psych teacher, and she's a transgender, and she wants to be spoken to as they or them. I guess that's the appropriate pronoun. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me, you guys. Please, someone let me know, because I used to think of they and them as like mobsters, gangsters, and the Illuminati. I mean, dude, they and them is the boogeyman. Dude, do you guys want to be the boogeyman? I don't think transgenders want to be the boogeyman.
The boogie woogie woo.
Yeah, why? Like, because he was saying her because she had a very more feminine quality than masculine. And so I guess transgender take that very offensive because they want to be individualized, not labeled and put there.
Categorized.
I get it, but come on, like Jordan Peterson talks about, listen, there comes a point of diminishing returns because everyone's so individual. At what point do you stop that segmentation? You know?
Yeah.
We're losing him, fellas.
I'm sorry.
We're losing him. He's slipping down the hill.
Those gummy bears.
Where are they? No, we can wrap this up.
Missing gummy bears.
So we talked about your face, your beautiful face, and just respect your situation, you guys. I see so many people drink and drive, man, and it's just not fucking cool.
And it can end like that.
Dude, you can lose your eye, lose a friend, lose a nephew, lose a lot of people. You can lose your credibility. You can lose your
lost friends.
license.
I lost friends. All my bills went to crap. Credit
Debt
went to
and all
crap. Yep.
Oh, let's finish up with the news. How about that? On a lighter end. So we're not leaving this podcast in sadness. No, this is more of like a lesson. It's just a lesson. It really is.
It's a lesson.
It's a learning lesson. And Greg, you know, he's gracious enough to come on here. This took him a while, man. I've known him for a while, and I said, hey, you have a good story. You should come on here. And you know, and obviously we can go into depth later on with more podcasts and go into maybe some people can kind of send some information, you know, some questions like, hey, like how did you deal with it after, post, you know, not right now because you're tired and it is late, but you know, post accident, and he's got a crazy story about how he found out his friend died. Like it's, you know, there's these moments in our lives that are so trying. And so I guess just things to think about, you know, and we're going to get on with the news right here. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about, but, you know, thank you for coming on and fucking handling.
You're welcome.
Sharing. And we're going to share more of his story, hopefully. He's got a lot to talk about, and hopefully a lot you guys can extract from it. But what I can't understand is, what the fuck? Chargers are in Los Angeles. I don't get it.
I can't believe it.
I don't get it. Chargers, to me, that's San Diego. I love San Diego. San Diego's, there's some places that are dear to my heart.
It's like the Bears leaving Chicago.
I don't know. I've never been to
not
Chicago.
Right.
Yes, you're right. That would be fucked up. I don't.
You know?
That doesn't make sense. Or the Yankees moving from New York.
How about the Chicago Cubs moving somewhere else?
How about this? New York.
Wrong.
The New York Cubs and the Chicago Yankees.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy fuck. The world will implode.
Dude, there would be
Something be going on. Well, that's what I feel. You see, the thing is, the West Coast, it won't implode because we're so like, bro, some tofu and Pilates. or some bullshit like that. I don't know. Anyways, it just is weird because now we went from no football teams to 2 football teams. Just sounds ridiculous. No, I'm not even into football anymore. I used to drink a lot, eat a lot of meat, and watch a lot of football, and I don't do 2 of those things anymore. What else? Vegas strong, you guys. 58 or 59 dead, and a bunch of shit. Now there's all kinds of conspiracy stuff.
This would be the time for a moment of silence for those people.
Sucks.
Yep.
And, I feel for everybody out there. And if anybody wants to call in, talk about it, talk about your experience. I mean, we can do it live. Put you on the phone and put you on the podcast and talk to you and maybe get some perspective. Maybe it's a way for you to kind of vent or release, something that, or give some people some perspective. Listen, this is happening, you people. And getting rid of guns doesn't eliminate shit from happening, like we just got done talking about. So, chin up. It's just, we live in a pretty fucking awesome time in our lives, regardless of all this crap that happens. You don't want to go back too far in time because it was mayhem. None of us lived very long, and there was it was crazy. It's just in a different kind of crazy. So keep your head up. Eminem. He did
You got M&Ms?
Eminem, the rapper, did a cipher on Trump. Did you hear it?
No.
YouTube it, you guys. It's fucking viral if you haven't already seen it. He pulled out a cipher freestyle. It's pretty good. It wasn't bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I do about as good.
I will have to check that out.
It was off the top of his head, and he fucked up. And then all right. And he fucked up like that, and he stopped, and it was rad because he caught slipping. Eminem got caught slipping, but he tore it up. He's got a good cipher. Like I was talking about earlier, those ciphers. The cipher, like I told you, 23. Mm-hmm. Post Malone, if you guys don't know, that guy's a motherfucking genius. Anyways, he's a brilliant artist. The guy learned to play guitar on Guitar Hero. That's where he learned to play, and he shreds. He plays all kinds of different kinds of guitar, and he's good.
Wow.
Fucker's good. Learn how to play on Guitar Hero.
That's
Fuck cool. You. That's rad. So there's a verse. I wish I could play that song right now because it's a good song. Whatever, son. When I started balling, I was young. Never heard that song?
No.
Really? You got to be kidding me. It's a fucking great song.
Real.
So anyways, he talks about putting on his 2 3s. And I ciphered it. That means he had his Jordans on. Right? 23. Jordan, what else are you going to fucking do? So, so the cipher on Trump, pretty heavy. What else? We did it. We did the news, Chargers in L.A., Vegas shooting. Sorry, guys. And hopefully, look, dude, the chances of this shit not ever happening again somewhere, it's probably going to happen again. God bless you all, whoever's caught in that shit. Someone's going to get caught in some shit, right? It's like, dude, just where the luck of the draw is going to be at and where is this going to happen and how do you prevent this stuff? How do you really prevent it?
You can try your best to be as careful as possible and focus on what you're doing, but
putting yourself in the situations that, look at a week and a half before, was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks? 2 weeks before that shooting. Maybe it was a week, before? I was at the Mandalay Bay like a week before that. We watched Iration play outdoors at the Mandalay Bay, but we were at their pool, their ocean pool. So I was knee deep in water, fucking watching Iration, partying. I had a drink in my hand. I was having a fucking blast. The hotel's right above us. Fuck. That could have been me and Lauren just getting plucked off. Yeah. Easy.
Yep.
Easy. That was a week before, right? A week before.
I used to go to Vegas a lot.
2 weeks before. Sorry, it's 2 weeks before.
I used to go to Vegas a lot, and haven't been in a while, but my friend, we go all the time before he passed. But 11 times 1 year, Vegas. We were always very proud of that.
So that's like a once a month.
Yeah.
About
We
once a month.
started on New Year's and ended on New Year's.
Oh wow.
So it was cool.
Yeah, Vegas is a great spot, and that's why
crazy.
Well, that's why they say Vegas strong. Like, just still go out, still walk around, go out and have the tall drinks and all that fun stuff, because you can't walk around paranoid. But then at the same time, this world's changing and things need to change, and I don't have all the answers. I mean, are you gonna walk around strapped and fucking toting your gun? You can't do that. And what? Let me ask you a question. Carry conceal. I got my carry conceal. I'm not printing. You know what printing means, right? If I'm carrying my carry conceal like this, that's printing.
Okay.
It shows. It's like printed out. So if you had it in your waistband and you could see, oh, that guy has a gun in his, it's not showing the gun. It's printing on your textile, on your clothes. Yeah. So let's just say I'm there in Vegas Sunday night. I got my carry permit. I got my girl. We're dancing. Got some Jason Aldean. And fuckface starts shooting off fucking rounds into the crowd, right? What can I do with my carry?
Try your best.
No, dude.
Try your best to take him out.
No.
What?
You're fucking shooting and killing people that are fucking going, what's going on out there? You can't start doing that, guy. You can't shoot a 4-inch barrel 500 yards away up in the fucking into the balcony, 32 feet.
You try your best.
No, you don't try your best. You don't shoot at people.
You don't try it all.
See, that's the thing. You can't do anything. Now, let me put another perspective for people. This is for people out there that are already talking to the screen. Oh yeah, well fucking blah blah blah. And if I had my gun, I would run up there and kill them. Okay, there's another scenario. Okay, so you're down the hallway. You know what room? You hear caps going pa, 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 coming from the room.
Yeah.
You blow the door, pa, pa, boom, and you break down the door with your buddy, and you cap this guy, and you kill him. Okay.
Okay.
And then right when you kill him, all the cops show up because they saw the fucking rounds going off, and they ended up getting on a 30-second round, and they show up and they run down the hall and they see you holding a gun, and they fucking kill you because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you were a hero, but now you're a dead hero.
Yeah.
Friendly fire.
Yeah.
No one thinks about this shit, dude. If you're holding a fucking gun, like, this is the thing.
What's the circumstances?
You kill the guy, pa, pa, pa. You take your gun, you throw it, make sure it's fucking just empty the clip, take your moon clip out, whatever, dump it, throw the gun. Get on the fucking ground and lay fucking flat and still. And don't move till they get there. That's what you do to live. If you're the hero, be smart. Get rid of your fucking gun off of you. Throw it far. Get it in the corner. They got to have it. The investigators got to come and look for the gun. Okay? Get it off you. It's not to evade that you shot it. It's just you don't want them, that first fucking thing when they show up, oh, there's the guy. Boom, there's the perp. No. What the fuck? What happened? Okay, stay down on the ground. If you're on the fucking ground like this, you're good. Exactly. Legs spread, arms spread, breathe. Everything will happen, and then you can go through questioning, and then you're the hero, and then you're on Good Morning America, and then you're a fucking hero. But don't be a dead hero.
Yeah.
You got to be smart, man.
Be smart. Exactly.
And that's what they don't want. They don't want a bunch of vigilantes because you're not trained for the situation. That's the whole point. So the bear arms things gets fucking convoluted, Greg. It gets fucking... Greggoriano. It gets convoluted, man. You know? Like in the test, it asked me... I missed 3 questions on test. You can't transfer laterally. So I can only transfer my guns to my father without dross.
Okay.
So I can, without going through federal and all that, I can just go to my dad and say, here, go, Dad. I'm giving you my guns. I love you. And he goes, thank you, son. I own your guns now. All right, Dad. Love you. I'll talk to you later. All right, cool. My brother, when his son is of age, can say, on all the long rifles he has, at 18, he can go, here you go, son. Here's the long rifles. And at 21, he can give him the handguns. They had pistols or revolvers. Give them to his son. Just, here, son, here's the gun. Or to my dad. My brother can go, here, Dad, here are my guns. No paperwork, nothing. You cannot do that with your sister or your mother.
Really?
Or your brother.
Why?
You can't go lateral. And you can't go to your mom.
What a trip.
And if I don't think the dad can't do it to the daughter, to the son. I could be wrong on this. I just lost the question. So, but if you want to debate this, please let me know on this, because I'm going to talk to the phased man that I know, Mr. Unfazed. He'll know for sure. But I lost that. That's one of the questions I got wrong, because I said my brother or my sister, and it was no. Because it gave you like your friend, work, or colleague at work, your brother or sister, or none of the above. And it was none of the above. And I thought it was your brother or sister I think you could go laterally. Next one I lost, that I lost on, or that I got wrong, was when can you shoot somebody? It was if they're trespassing, they called you a bad word, they threatened you. Well, how do they phrase it? With a weapon. They threatened you with what kind of, like, a life-threatening weapon or something. I forgot how they phrased it. Or none of the above. And I picked the trespassing, because I just didn't figure if somebody's out I don't have a carry. I don't have a carry weapon, okay? I just have my weapon. And then the guy outside, I'm in my car, and some guy starts shooting at me in the car. I can get out of my car, okay, load my weapon, and shoot him and kill him. However, I'll probably still get fucking fined and may or may not have to do jail time for firing a weapon in public, depending on the city ordinance and or some other ordinances. So it's never like, bam, bam, I'm the good guy, and then you walk away scot-free. It just does not fucking happen. I don't care if you're in the right or not. So these are things to think about, but the people are reactionary.
Yeah.
And you got to know, like, if you're being threatened, your life is being threatened, dude, that's just such a serious thing. It's not so serious that you're being threatened by somebody. It's serious on how you're going to defend yourself. Because even if you do defend yourself, you can, how's the phrase go? I said it before. It goes, you can, something about the riding the ride. Like, you can't evade going, like, if I shoot somebody with this, problem is I'm going to fucking get in trouble, and I'm going to probably end up going to jail. Like, no matter what, it's just not going to turn out right.
Right.
So,
if not, you got to live with whatever you killed.
well, that's the thing, is even if you don't kill anybody and you hurt somebody, now you can get sued. I mean, dude, it gets so sticky. The situation of owning a weapon, a hand weapon or a rifle, the rifle's not so likely because it's so big. But I mean, unless you're gonna fucking do what that guy did. But it's a lot easier to conceal this and try to start shooting people, is my point. Like, this is a lot easier to carry around and maneuver and hide than it is a long rifle. So it's just important that you educate yourself. And I know a lot of people are going out and buying guns because this shit's going on. But just take some of these scenarios that I talked about and make a realization that, dude, you're really not going to go out running and gunning. And it's going to be in the situations where you're in a dire life or death situation and you just go, okay, I got to grab my gun right now because I'm not safe. My family's not safe. We're not safe. We're broke down on the side of the road on a road trip. Perfect time to have a fucking handgun. Perfect fucking time. Camping.
I was just going to say that.
Perfect time to own a handgun and bring it with you. In a desolate area. Rented, maybe you fucking did, what is it? What do you go around you stay in other places? Not Uber, the Yawning Fest 2005.
Yes, I am the
We're gonna close this up right now, but yeah, you know where you go stay at other places and live in people's homes or whatever, and you don't know the neighborhood and you don't know the people around. Have your gun near you. You never fucking know what's gonna go on, man. There's other Richard Ramirez's out there that just haven't come out and about yet. They're fucking crazy people that enter your house. What are you gonna do? Throw a shoe at them? So, but you're not gonna shoot them if you're not educated. You're not gonna shoot them if you're not practiced, and you're not gonna shoot them if you don't know these types of weapons. And people just need to take some courses, get your kids involved into shooting, let them know what the weapons are. Because believe it or not, when you don't have control on them anymore, this is a very enticing thing to wonder about. Oh, never shot a gun. I wonder how that feels. My parents were totally against guns. I'm going to take it up. And then some guy grabs a big bore 480 and blows his fucking thumb off because he has it like this on the flash point. This is a professional I'm talking about, and that's a true story.
Jeez.
Blew fucking half his fucking hand off. So, muzzle flash. Or not the muzzle flash, the flash off the
revolver.
Off the revolver. I call it a barrel, but it's not a barrel, not a drum. It's the this thing. I call it a drum, but it's not. The wheel.
The wheel is what it's
The wheel,
called.
yeah. And other people call other things like furniture. This is called furniture. All right, guys. Well, there's my rant on guns and Vegas and Eminem and suicide and car accidents and blah, 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 blah. This guy's going to fucking fall asleep at the...
I don't know why. I guess
You're going to fall asleep at the wheel again right now.
Seriously.
Fall down my stairs going out of here. Quick announcement.
I'm not driving, just to let you
Quick announcement. I'm going to make the announcement. The Topsnap Podcast studio will be moving within the next 2 months, a month and a half or so. So we're going to be moving over to probably Huntington Beach, get out of the Santa Ana area, pack up the bags. I love this place, man. I love this podcast. I built this with my hands and my brain. And it's going to be sad to move, but, you know, new beginnings. And we're going to try to get the production up to a whole nother level for you folks, because I want more of a viewership. I think it's important to get, and I want to get some other like really interesting guests and more people just to hear stories like Greggoriano. Stories like
Sorry.
stories like Patrick Fowler, Chad Towersey. He has great stories. You know, these people that come in, Kasim Soul. He has great stories. There's so many great stories out there. Worldwide travelers, people who have met interesting people. Just, I want to hear the stories. If they're interesting, what have you gone through? You know, what are your philosophies on these things? These are things to ponder. We have a limited amount of time on this earth. And I know it's said over and over till you want to puke, and you hear it all the time, time's short, or life's short, live it up. You hear that. But it's true. And by living it up, you have to go after your passions. You have to be creative, and don't settle. When you know those things you want to go do, make the effort to go towards them. Like this podcast, I wanted to do a podcast, and I didn't have all the equipment. Everyone could just start it, just do it. So whatever you're looking for, whatever you want to do out there, start small. Make sure that it becomes a part of your life in just some small way where you adopt it to part of who you are. And watch it grow and cultivate. And if it's not going where you want, then you know that you're not fulfilling and you're not putting enough time and energy into it. And don't let anybody detour you guys from that, because that, I think, is the biggest failure of somebody's life, is to not pursue the possibilities. That's all. If you're not pursuing those possibilities, you're just not living life.
Yep.
Love you guys. Peace out. Topsnap Podcast. Go to topsnapmedia.com. For some reason, the topsnappodcast.com is just not, I don't know.
Casting.
It's not working. There's so much to do. But if you've watched this to this far, I salute you. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in soon. I'm going to be trying to put off a podcast like pretty much every day for the rest of October, because I don't know if we're going to stay till the end of October or November. But I want to hit as many podcasts in this facility. I love this studio. It's been amazing. It's been an awesome 3 years. And hopefully this next month we'll have some really interesting guests. I'm just going to start picking up the phone and saying, hey, get down here. because once we move, the new facility's a lot smaller. It doesn't have the tall ceilings. It doesn't have the ambiance. It's a big, big change, but change is good. All right, you guys, chin up. If you're depressed, tune into the next one. That's all I can tell you. All right, tune into the next podcast.
Life is good.
Well,
Pressure. I mean,
life is tough. Life is a bitch. Life is fucking terrifying. Life is filled with fucking danger and scariness and uncertainty and dilemma. And that's what makes it so fucking beautiful. Is it because when you find that essence, like a beautiful sky or going up to the mountains, super simple. You drive up to fucking Big Bear, go up to the deep woods, shut off everything, just sit there.
silent.
Holy shit, it was amazing. Didn't hear any fucking planes, didn't hear any cars, didn't hear anything but the wind, and it was spiritual, dude. And that was just right up here in Big Bear. Okay, you can do this. You don't have to be. You can be worldwide. I mean, there's a million ways to do this. Joe Rogan said, if you want to fucking have a psychedelic experience and not do any drugs, jump into a float tank. Go do that shit. Try that out. I haven't done it yet. I want to.
What's a float tank?
We're going to talk about that on the next podcast. Maybe tomorrow night.
Okay.
Or tomorrow. Yeah?
Well, I might be leaving town.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Greggoriano. He's going to Italy. He's going to go look at the people that he has. It's people. All right, guys. That's enough of my rant. I really appreciate you guys. Let's try to get that 33 to like 35 subscribers. Let's get 2 subscribers on this one. Come on. I know you can do it. 2 subscribers. Make my day. Make Greggoriano's day.
I want 3.
Well, I want to get to 35. I mean, I got more fucking subscribers on all this other bullshit I have than the thing that I'm the most passionate about is my podcast. So, all right, guys. Talk to you later. Instagram, his username is Jay. Do you have Instagram you want to talk about? Or mention? No?
No, I never post.
Don't post. All right. Chin up. Stay strong. Stay black. Talk to you guys later. Shoots.
Peace.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to it. I like listening to these. See ya!